Hello.
Sebastian from PLP. Just a question on your defensive record. You've conceded very few goals in open play recently. Can you talk us through how you managed to build that? And are you really impressed with the quality of that defensive structure at the moment?
Yes, I am very impressed because it's not easy to do it in this league. But it goes down to first of all, to the engagement of the players, the understanding of how important that is, their implication, and then individual and collectively how good they are able to execute it. It starts with the front players, the way they go about the press and how intense they are and how much they are willing to support the team in that sense. And then it's a collective thing, the understanding, the distances, the compactness, how you win the duels, how you force the opponent to play in certain ways that is better for our defensive structure, and it's going to be really, really important for the future if we want to maintain the rhythm and winning football matches.
Just a question on the right back position. Cedric's had a couple of good games. Tommy Asu's returning. Has your kind of mindset on that changed?
No, it's exactly what I want. That we have players that can play in the same role with different qualities that give us different options, and that you have the reassurance that they both can perform at the highest level, and that's the case now.
And finally, a quick word on your opponents tomorrow. You played them recently. Since then, they've had 2 wins against 2 top clubs.
Yeah.
What do you take away from Wolves since you last played them?
Nothing different. I think they've been really consistent. I think the work that the manager and the coaching staff are doing, it's exceptional. They've been in a really good run over the years. They have a really clear way of playing, and they are a really competitive team. It's really hard to beat them, and it will be tough tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Seb. Go to Paul from Sky.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
It looks like a really tasty fixture given both clubs' position in the league at the moment. How much have you stressed that to the players?
Well, I think they know. They know what every game means for us. We know where we are, and that race is going to be right till the end. There's a lot of clubs involved. You see very different results that you don't expect, and we play at home. And the importance of getting the points when we play at home is going to be crucial to get to the destination.
Does it feel like this race for the top 4 will come down to fine margins this season? What do you think could be the difference between all of these clubs?
I don't know. I think it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster. There will be moments when a team opens a gap, then it catches up. You see the fixtures that we all have to play, and they're extremely tricky. And we will see.
What about team news? Any fresh injury concerns? Any players back?
No, at the moment it's all as it was before last week.
And what specifically is it about Wolves you think has led them to this position at the moment? Because they have, over the last couple of months, really just risen up the table.
Well, first of all, the recruitment policy and the players that they have brought in, with the qualities, with the characters, and the specificity for the way they play. Then obviously the defensive performances, they've been superb. The amount of goals that they conceded, if they have the creativity that they have and the goals that they have, that combination is going to be always a positive outcome.
And on the top 4 again, how important will qualifying for the Champions League be for you and your vision for this football club?
I think for the club, this is where we want to play, and this has to be the aim, to every year be playing amongst the best teams in the world, and that's what we want to do.
What has the club said to you about possibly extending your contract?
Nothing. It's just that I am really happy here, and my aim is just to build with the club a winning team, a team that people enjoys watching, that feels identified with, and that can transmit what we want football-wise and as an organisation.
It feels like there has been a lot of progress made. I just wonder, does it feel like a given that would be the natural next step? Is that something that all parties believe will just happen?
I just think things will happen naturally. That it have happened over the last few months, and now our focus has to be delivering what we want to deliver.
Thanks, Mikel.
Thanks, Paul. George from BBC.
Mikel, just on that, so is it the feeling at the moment from you that the club's in the best shape it's been since you've been in charge, and that's why you're so happy at the moment with the situation?
Well, I'm happy with the direction that we are taking. I'm not happy with where we are and where we want to be, that's for sure, because we want to be competing and really challenging the best teams in this league in consecutive seasons, and we are not there yet, but I think the team is evolving in the right direction. The projects like the phases that we proponed, they are happening, and there are a lot of positives to take, but we are not there.
When you watch, you're a football fan, when you watch the Champions League, you must aspire for that to happen next season. So how much does it need to happen for Arsenal for you to get them back into the top four? Do you miss the Champions League music?
I do a lot, because as a football player I have experiences, and it's one of the best feelings that you can have, to be surrounded by opponents that are the best in the world and challenge yourself and evaluate yourself against that type of opposition. And then obviously as a club you play in a competition that brings the club to a different dimension, different impact, a competition that is very attached to this football club.
You've got 45 points to play for. It's in your own hands. How will the players handle that pressure that you can finish fourth this season?
There is going to be that talk till the end, or mathematically that is possible, but our focus has to be today. Train well today, prepare well today, be mentally ready, physically ready, tactically ready tomorrow to play a really difficult match, and tomorrow show it on the pitch. That should be the only aim.
Thank you.
Ian from Talksport.
Hi Miko, how are
Hi.
you? Big game tomorrow. What have you made of your opposite number, Bruno Lage? Because there's not too much to learn about him apart from being involved at Swansea, and yet he's taken the reins from Nuno at Wolves and done a pretty good job.
A really good job. I think Nuno set different standards at that club, and the work that he did, I think it was phenomenal in every sense. I think he established the club in the Premier League into a different level, and then Bruno has come here with his own ideas, and he's put the team again in another level, and the way they are competing and playing, it's remarkable.
A lot's been asked about Arsenal being in the top four and Champions League. In a way, are you ahead of schedule? I mean,
we are where we are, and I'm happy that we are in this position, and we want to make the most out of it. And again, that can be the aim, and that should be the goal and the objective. But the focus has to be today.
I was with Antonio Conte yesterday, and he was talking about strikers, and he said you can get your wife wrong, but you can't get your striker wrong. You have to be absolutely 100% with your striker. You've only got two, Lacazette and Nketiah. I know goals are coming from elsewhere. How much are you going to be relying on your two strikers between now?
Well, when you see the teams that they win championship and European competitions, you see the teams that Antonio had in the past, the amount of goals that they have scored, there is a huge relation there, so he's probably right. I don't know the comparison with the wife, but it's a good one.
You're not playing Mrs. Arteta up front tomorrow?
No, not at the moment.
Last one, which is slightly more serious. Obviously, this fixture is always, you always think about what happened with Raul Jimenez. We saw last Sunday with the Leeds player Robin Koch, again, player welfare regarding head injuries. It's not quite there in football compared maybe to other sports. What can football do to maybe make that, bring it into line with other sports? And secondly, how much is it down to your medical team rather than the player to decide whether he stays on the pitch?
Well, I think we made a lot of progress there to where we were a few years back, and we have to continue there. In the case of Raul, it was a really scary moment. Thanks to the medical team, that probably they saved in that moment something that could have been much worse, and then the recovery that he's done. And it's great that after that he's come back so quickly, performing, scoring goals like he's doing. And regarding that topic, yes, we can always get better, and that should be the aim.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ian. Go to Mark.
Just on that with Raul Jimenez, I think most of us were there in the stadium when that happened. It was you could even hear it happen because obviously we're behind closed doors. Was that one of the scariest moments you've had involved in football?
Yeah, I had others, but that was one of them, because straight away when you see the reaction, the anxiety that suddenly in team doctors and everybody was involved trying to assess what was happening, it was frightening. And thanks God, the end of the right way, but it looks really, really bad.
for yourself with the club? Were you in contact with
Yeah.
Raul during his recovery and things
Yeah,
like that?
we were. Of course, we were, and David was as well, because he was directly involved and he was really affected about that. And yeah, we are colleagues at the end. We share the same profession and industry, and when something like that happens, you are emotionally involved.
The team you're playing tomorrow night, are they a rival to finish in the top four?
Well, they look like the way they are playing, the results that they are getting, the consistency that they've shown, for sure. And you look at the last 2 games as well and how they played against us, they're going to be up there.
We saw Emil score again at the weekend. That's 10 goals and 2 assists this season now. Many Zoom calls ago, you said that if he was going to be a top player, he needed to be more consistent. Are you now seeing the output of goals and assists that he needs to provide?
Yeah. The numbers should be looking something like this, and that's not a coincidence. He's practicing it every day. He's working. He's open. His willingness to do it because he knows he has the qualities and the capacities to do it, and that's what we have to demand to players, whether they are 19, 20 or 35.
Do you think you've unlocked something with him in conversations you've had? Does it also help that he's had that England experience now as well?
I think it's a combination of everything. It's in his nature. Obviously, he needs to feel that confidence and that trust around the coaching staff that we are the right people to guide him and to take him to the next level. He needs his teammates, which they are big contributors to what he can do on that pitch. He needs to feel love. He needs the right environment around his family, girlfriend, whatever is next to him. And when that happens, then he's got a good chance.
And finally, in the broadcast section, we'll go to Nick later to the back.
Hi there, Mikel.
Hi.
One of the changes since we used to come up here regularly is we've got some more cameras in the room filming the documentary about you and players, All or Nothing. How's that impacted you, and how are you coping with the extra attention there?
Well, it's another experience. I left it once, obviously when I had a different role, but at least I knew what it was. It's a way of telling the people who follows us how we live, how this looks like internally, and it has to be natural. Nobody has to be acting. We have to be ourselves, and just tell the story as it happens. And this season has been a little bit a roller coaster for many situations that we all know, and coping involved and restrictions. But hopefully, it's a good story to tell and people to understand what happens behind the scenes. But sometimes it's not easy because you feel observed, you feel listened, and sometimes that's in the back of your mind. But at some stage you have to let it go and become what can become.
So do you think we'll see a different side to you? We'll see all those highs and lows, the hugs and the arguments and...
I don't know. I'm who I am. You know, when I am angry, when I'm happy, when I am disappointed. I don't know. I don't think I can hide, or I do hide a lot how I feel. But for sure, you follow me 24 hours. I'm sure you will know more about me. That's for sure.
Just finally, quick word. Since we last spoke, Jack Wilshere has officially sort of left the club again. He's found his new home in Denmark. Just some thoughts on him and his future.
Well, first of all, thank you for what he's done all the time with us. It's been great to have him. I think I'm speaking on behalf of everybody at the club. It's been absolutely a pleasure to have Jack back, to enjoy him, watch him play again next to us, to have him around, the inspiration that he's for all the young people, and hopefully we can help him. We have helped him a little bit as well, because he had some doubts what to do, whether to start coaching or continue playing, and I think this group of players have given him again that necessity to experience on a daily basis how magnificent it is to feel like a football player. And I think he wants to experience that again, and we wish him the best of luck.
From the outside, he seems to have matured a bit since we saw him singing songs with you and playing parades and things.
Yeah, I think it's come a long way, Jack. I don't think he can lose as well that spontaneity that he has, and that character and the funny moments that he produced, because he's part of Jack. But obviously, years gone by, and he has matured a lot.
From what you've seen, can you see him returning one day, maybe in a coaching capacity?
100%. I think everybody at the club will be willing to open the doors for him and try to find a role for him that can work for everybody. And I think that will happen naturally in the future.
Cheers, thanks.
Thanks. That concludes the broadcast section.